And he joins us this week on the Harbor One Hotline. Hello, Mike Milbury.
Good morning on this lovely day.
How's
another one? It's been a great spring so far. What did I miss overnight? Any new wars start today?
Nothing like that.
China didn't invade the Taiwan, even though they were on their heels because of the earthquake, and we still got Ukraine and Russia doing their thing.
Crazy.
That earthquake was wild.
What is the matter with us? What's the matter with this human race?
I don't know.
Can't figure it out, can we?
How's the Cape?
It's miserable.
Snow or rain?
It's rain.
Rain.
By the way, all those people who live on the water, take care of your problems yourself. You want to live on the water, then you pay.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't want to have any, whining parties for these people that live on the water. I mean, just suck it up. Literally suck up the water and suck up the bill for repairing that stuff. Well, and by the way, Courtney, I don't know where you get all your stuff for your hits, but too little for a breakfast sandwich? What the hell is up with that? I mean, in California, you can't get a cheeseburger for less than like $12.
Yeah, $8 got him 2 sausage and egg patties, and he pulled a gun for the discount.
It's a pretty good deal.
Pretty good deal. Yeah, Burger King.
It's not bad. And the euthanasia person, what's up with that?
Tell
her to have a cheeseburger. Maybe that'll lighten her life up.
I think she's a vegan.
Mike
is on edge this
week.
morning.
The Red Sox got a guy that goes 5 innings. Wow, I'm so impressed. 5 innings.
The new MLB, Mike.
Are we vibing now, Wiggy?
You and I always vibe, man.
All right.
You and I always vibe, brother. Don't worry about it. We always vibe.
Always blows Wiggy away that it's a big deal that a pitcher goes 5 innings when it used to be a big deal if they went 9.
Yeah, back in the day, it was like, you got to get at least 7 out of this guy. Now it's like, go 4 and a third, and it's a great outing.
Remember Pedro? Pedro could go 9, no problem. Yeah. How big was that guy?
Yeah.
Not big.
A different era.
Well, I think
different mindset. Yeah, you probably can't call him after 5 innings, right?
Yeah.
Because he's new California law.
Well, back in your day, I think pitchers used to do both games of a doubleheader back in the 30s or whatever.
Oh, shut up, Greg.
All right, listen, it's crunch time for the Bruins. We're getting down to it here. And your mood when it comes to this hockey team right now?
I can't really figure it out, but I mean, they're right there at the top of the heap of wins and losses. I like the fact that Jim Montgomery has snapped a little. I'm glad that they've responded when he snapped, because when we talked about him last year being so sort of mellow, and now he's come back with a little bit of a snap. And the other day he was talking about defense, and we're going to give up all these goals because we're giving up too many chances, and then they shut out Nashville. Although a large part of that was Ullmark. He was incredible in that game. I thought he was by far the best player on the ice, and it's starting to make that decision on goaltending a little more interesting, as we talk about every week.
Are you worried that Jim Montgomery goes into the playoffs thinking that he can platoon these guys again?
Well, I would not. I'm not a platoon guy, but and right now, the better goaltender of the two, I think Swayman's started to come out of it a little bit, but Ullmark he's been good since the no trade thing, and not good, outstanding. So I don't know. I think there's time to put in a second goaltender, but I think you pick your spots. You're up 2-0, and you're at home, and maybe you can put in a different goaltender. But I'm not a fan of platooning. But what the hell? They've had success with it, so maybe they can keep it going. I have so many questions about this team going into the playoffs. And I'm not sure why, because they continue to win. They continue to bounce back after they have a couple of bad games. And, they're only like 6-4, I think, in their last 10 games, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels like they beat a tough Nashville team that needed points to stay in the wild card hunt. And they keep beating teams that, surprise me. And it's been all year and all last year, it's been a surprise for me to watch the Bruins, but you can't give up on them because they keep on bouncing back.
Mike, we always talk about the goalie thing, and with there only being 6 games left, and you've been around hockey a long time, and it seems like the goalie position is so mental. How do you think it's smart to just keep going game to game with these goalies, or to give one? Because how mentally playing into a guy where you said he goes up the first 2 games and then he sits. I mean, that has to be very difficult for an athlete to deal with that, especially a goaltender.
It would be difficult for me to sit out a game, especially if I had been playing well. But you know what? These two guys have done that for the last 2 years for the most part, until the only time they didn't rotate was in the playoffs last year. And I don't know if he was hurt or not. I mean, I'm not going to make an excuse for Ullmark in the playoffs, but he wasn't nearly as good as he could have been. And they stopped rotating, and it didn't work for them. So, you know what? My head's going round and round about this thing with this team and how they should handle the goaltenders. But, you know, it's the most important position on the ice surface. And you've got to get a guy that's ready to go and mentally ready. And a lot of that is a coaching decision based on feel, based on your contact and communication with the player. And if success is leading you towards one goaltender or another, you've got to press that button. But if you feel like this guy is under pressure, he's exhausted, because it can be an exhausting position, even though you're not moving up and down the ice like everybody else. It's you're right, the mental side of it. You know, the constant focus as soon as the puck crosses the blue line. It can be taxing.
Mike, Jim Montgomery offered an update when it came to Pat Maroon, saying that he's week to week. For somebody to have back surgery in February and then finally be able to skate on their own this week and then seemingly maybe be ready for the playoffs, how difficult will that be, and how hard will it be for him to play in such a high intensity environment so quickly?
The guy's won 3 cups, and that's great, but he's never been a great skater, but he's been a great competitor. I've had back surgery before. It doesn't allow you to come back instantaneously. It's not like a sore wrist or something. It can be debilitating. However, this guy has proven that he can be important in big moments in big games, and so to have that accessibility, even at a fairly ripe old age for a hockey player, is a nice asset to have for Jim Montgomery. But I have no idea how he's going to perform or how he's going to fit into the equation. And just we got 6 more games or so to see if he can possibly get in a regular season game or not. It'd be tough for anybody under any circumstances, even if he were healthy, to step into a playoff situation when you hadn't played in months. The tempo is so upscale, and tempo is so much quicker than you think it would be during a practice session, that it's going to take some time for this guy. And if he's going to be effective, I think it's going to be important for him to play a game or 2 before the playoffs start.
I want you to take us inside the game for a minute, because I know you become less of a fan of fighting in the NHL. However, last night, Rangers Devils, you have a 10-player brawl that begins right at opening face-off time. I know we talked to Sean Thornton about this a million times, where 2 guys talk to each other, decide they're going to go. Is that one guy that starts that prior to the game, or are they communicating via text or email and setting it up? How does that work?
Well, we certainly didn't text or email when I was playing, but I think there was a history between these 2 teams they're just across the river from one another. So there's, geographical animosity, I guess you'd call it. But, it was funny. We talked about Chris Simon passing away and the problems with CTE. And when I watched that game, you could see the giddiness of the broadcasters was just silly. Like Rupp and Jody Shelley were just like, they were just, doing whatever they're doing in their pants during the course of this thing. And it was just, for me, and so was Henrik Lundqvist, who never had a fight in his life. And he thought it was just the greatest thing since sliced bread. But, I enjoyed it. I have to admit that I enjoyed seeing the whole circus unfold. Yeah. But it does have consequences. And so I stand by my position that it's time to grow up and, move on. It didn't affect the outcome of the game. The game was 2-0 Rangers, and then New Jersey came back, and eventually the Rangers won out. But it was a sideshow. It wasn't part of the actual outcome of the game.
Had to be about a girl.
But but it's what see, and this is I understand like the CTE thing is real, but it's also in my mind what is missing from as somebody who has, grew up watching the big bad Bruins of which you were part of. It's what's missing from the game of hockey in my mind. Like
I don't think you miss it when the playoffs start. When the playoffs begin and the intensity ramps up and the hitting is strong and every goal is meaningful, I think you forget about, in the course of 82 games, perhaps you need that, extra spice to your game and your $250 ticket to order to enjoy it. But I don't think you don't miss it when the playoffs come around. It's not about the fighting in April and May and June. It's about who can win the game and who can play the better defense and who can score timely goals. So, it was part of it. And that vigilantism is, as I've said many times, I've enjoyed, but I think it's time to move on. But I'm sort of a low voice in the wind.
Well, those playoffs are coming around soon, and we will be talking to you throughout and maybe even watching a game with you. I had a text question for you about whether you will attend a road show this upcoming road show season.
Well, are you at the Beachcomber again this year?
We will be at the Beachcomber in June. Would you like that to be the one? That should be the one. I think that's
that should be a good one.
Okay, all right.
And you still have to go to my sister's restaurant in Rockport.
Yeah, what's that called?
My Place by the Sea. And it's great. It's right on the water. It's right at the end of Bearskin Neck at Rockport, and you guys would love it. Although, it's kind of quiet the night before, so if Wiggy wants to go dancing or something, he's going to have to travel.
He's a big dancer.
I'm a big
But he could just vibe with me.
I vibe with you, Mike.
He likes to watch people dancing.
Yeah,
He doesn't like
he's
to dance.
actually he told Foye yesterday he's a big break dancer.
Yeah, I can break, but that's,
you can break. Can you still break? Or do things break when you try to break?
I used to be able to jump over somebody into the worm. Now I'm just strictly ticking and
You're
robot.
strictly the worm.
No. I don't even go on the ground no
But you
more.
used to be able to jump over a dude
Yes.
and land in the worm?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When I was 15,
You
16,
dive over somebody?
you jump over them like you would a fire hydrant or a mailbox back in the day with their head into the worm.
What is the matter with you?
Yeah, but that's when we were breakdancing, Mike. I was 15 years old, 13, 14, 15.
You got to watch out for that back of yours.
I can tick and I can maybe robot a little bit.
Make it robot.
And ticking, that doesn't take much to do.
Mike
that.
Milbury,
Okay,
thank you.
Robot away the rest of the day, guys. See you.